Hello, it's good to see you. Today we are going to be making another wreath, and I finally got my wreath form. I couldn't find these for a little bit. I wanted to do it earlier this month for June for Pride Month, but everybody was out of these, and well, not just this, but also the big problem was the rainbow mesh. I wanted to find some of the multicolored rainbow mesh, and Michael's has really pretty rainbow mesh, but they've been sold out for weeks. So I finally found some the other day, and if you saw my Joann Fabrics and Crafts video, you saw the moment that I found it. I just stumbled upon it, which was great. So today we're going to be doing that. Now I think this is going to be a really neat one. I think this is going to be a really pretty wreath. I've kind of gone back and forth on the method to make it, because at first I was kind of thinking there are two techniques that I like for making wreaths. The first is the sunburst. That's my favorite. We do that one a lot. And that's where the bundles are kind of, the pieces of mesh are pulled out a little bit so you can kind of see the pieces a little better. But we also sometimes will do a wreath with rolls, where we take the pieces of mesh and we kind of roll them, and they go into the bundles in these little rolls. So I've kind of gone back and forth on this one, but I think ultimately rolls, I want to say rolls will look better with this wreath, but I'm not sure. I may actually make a few test bundles and just see how I feel about them. I thought I had decided, before I sat down, which way I wanted to do it, whether I want to do sunburst or rolls. But let me show you what we're working with. This wreath is going to be so colorful. It's going to be so vibrant. It's going to be really cool, I think. Now, we have a lot of mesh. We have a lot of ribbon. We have a lot of everything for this wreath, and it's really great. I'm really excited about it. Now, I was only able to find 3 rolls of the rainbow mesh, which actually, now that I think about it, is okay, because I wanted to include some bundles that had different colors in them anyway. I have some colors here, and I might do 1 or 2 bundles just in this color, and no other colors. Just like I have this kind of it's like a pale orange. I can't remember. Oh, I think I got some of this I did a llama themed wreath. I think I was using this mesh in that, and I had this left over. I won't need a lot, just enough to make 1 or 2 bundles with just that color. I have some green here. This might be left over from Easter or perhaps Christmas. I'm not really sure. I don't remember, but this, all my leftover stuff, I just put it in totes up in my attic, and it's just all kind of mixed together. So I don't know, but we could maybe do a couple of bundles in this green right here. So I've got that one. I found some purple. This is a really pretty purple. This is left over, I think, from Halloween. I bought a bunch of this back around Halloween. So I have this pretty purple. We could do some in that. All together, we're probably going to end up with about 50 bundles in this wreath. Bundles of mesh and ribbon. So I'm not quite sure how I want to lay it out yet. This one's very different, because in a lot of these wreaths, you may have multiple colors, but they're all just kind of mixed together. This one I want to do a little differently. Now this is the mesh I was looking for. This is the rainbow mesh. It's very similar to the one they have at Michael's. I found 3 rolls of this at Joann Fabrics and Crafts. It's from True Colors. Yeah, so we're going to do all of this rainbow mesh. I'm going to do in their own bundles, and that's going to go throughout the wreath. I'm going to try to distribute it evenly throughout. So whatever that ends up looking like, if it looks like that would take up too much space, I won't use it all. I want to make sure to have room for some of this other stuff. And I found this lighter purple as well. I might be able to mix a little bit of these two together in the bundles, or I might just use one or the other. I'm not really sure. That's the thing when you start looking through your stash and you find all these different colors and you want to use them all, but you also remember it's just one wreath and you only have so much room on the wreath form. I found this yellow. Isn't that pretty? I think this is also left over from the llama wreath. I'm not really sure. It's not that super bright yellow. It has a slight gold to it. It's I have another one that's even brighter. It's kind of like a neon, but I really kind of like this one a little bit better. I really like the color of this one. So we can work some of this in there. We can do maybe do a couple of bundles just in that. Okay, let me get these. These two are going together. We have black and brown that we're going to put on here. We can do several bundles in that. This is a beautiful, beautiful dark brown. It's kind of hard to see through the plastic. This is an older roll that I have. I've had it for a bit. And this is from Halloween. Yeah, it still has the Halloween tag on it, but we can put these two together. We're going to do some black and brown bundles in there as well. We're going to try to do 3 or 4 of these in there. So for these bundles, these will go together. Instead of just having like all of one type, we'll have these. And also, when I was in the attic, I found these. And we're going to put these together. I got 3 colors here. We're going to do these 3 colors together. We've got our pink, white, and blue. We're going to put these together. These are going to be a solid bundle. We'll try to do 3 or 4 of these as well. I think these were all, yeah, these are all from Easter. They're all Easter. They have the little Easter thing on them. So we can do all these together. We'll do some bundles with those. So that's what I'm saying. I have a lot of mesh. So honestly, I could almost end up making 2 wreaths. I don't know if I have time to make 2 today though. Oh, and the ribbon. Oh my gosh, all the ribbon. I want to show you. Look, now most of this ribbon I found at Joann. I believe all this ribbon came from Joann Fabrics and Crafts. This is a thinner ribbon here, and it's mostly, I think it's all from True Colors except for one roll. This is a shiny metallic ribbon. I believe it's 3/8 inch, yeah, by 3 yards. And we're going to put all this ribbon in here. There's going to be so much ribbon in here. It's, oh, I'd love to put a lot of ribbon in my wreaths. I want to do one day, I want to do a wreath that's just ribbons, like no mesh, it's just all ribbon. I'm going to do it one of these days. And then this one also, look at this is pretty. It's also True Colors. Now this one has a lot of pretty colors in it, and it also has kind of a metallic sheen to it. If it hits the light just right, you can kind of see it. It's beautiful. Look at all these pretty colors. Oh, okay. Now that's 5/8 inch ribbon. And the next 3 rolls also are. And we have this beautiful one here. Look. These are all from True Colors. I love that one. Look at that. That's cool. So you just have the different designs together like that. Oh no, this one is actually 3/8 right here. This is a 3/8 ribbon right here. And most of these are about 3 yards. I think most of them are 3 yards. So we have this one here. Now this one is actually from Offray, but I got that one at Joann's as well. This is a 5/8 inch ribbon here with the rainbow on it. It's pretty. I like that. This is a gross grain ribbon. It has that texture to it. But for this type of wreath, it doesn't really matter what type of ribbon it is. It doesn't have to be any particular type. Like, you don't have to have the ribbon with the wire in it. It doesn't really matter. And we have this one is 7/8 inch, I believe. Yeah, this one is also 3 yards. It's loud and proud. This one is heavy. It's interesting. This one is heavier for some reason. I guess maybe, well, it's wider, so there's more of it, you know. Maybe that's why. So we have that one. And then I have some wider ribbons too. I have this 2.5 inch. Now this one has a wire edge, but it doesn't matter. But of course, with some things, like if you were making a bow with this and you wanted to be able to shape it, that wire comes in handy there. It really helps you kind of shape it the way you want it to be. So we have this pretty one here. Look, it's decorated in silver glitter, which I think is pretty. We have that one. We have this wider rainbow ribbon, but this is it's not Offray. This one's actually from True Colors. But it looks, it basically, it's not exactly the same, but it's kind of the same. So we have, this is also, is this 2.5? It is 2.5 inch ribbon here. I think all of these are 2.5 inch ribbons. And we have this one too. Look at that. I may just use this with the bundles with the blue, pink, and white. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm really going to have to kind of figure it out as I go how I want to do the bundles and everything. And then finally I have this one. It's beautiful. Look at this. Kind of has a geometric design about it. This one is also from True Colors. So that is all of the ribbon. That's a lot of ribbon for one wreath. I'm really excited because I love putting a lot of ribbon in the wreath. I just think it looks really cool. And then once we get done creating the bundles, and I'm going to show you how to do that, then we get to decorate it. After you add all the bundles to your wreath form, we're going to be attaching it to this 14-inch wreath form. After we do that, then we get into the fun part of decorating the wreath, which is always really fun. I found these at Joann's also. This is an applique from Simplicity. It's pink sequins and it says love on it. So we're going to put that in there. And I found this one also. I thought this one was pretty. You have your little flower here and it also says love on it. And I found these pretty little hearts. They're little embroidered satin hearts, and they're kind of puffy. They have a little bit of filling or something in them. But we have all these pretty hearts, all these different colors, and we can put all of these on there. And I'm just going to hot glue them on there. This will probably be the last step. I find it's better for the smaller things to do them last. After you put in the larger things like the flowers, which I'm going to show you. We have pretty flowers too. Do the flowers first, do the larger things first, and then it's easier to kind of figure out where you want to position the smaller things for best visibility. For the flowers, I have these. I had these up in my stash up there, and it's a really pretty bouquet of these little daisies, and they're all different colors. We have yellow, purple, orange, pink. So we're going to take all of these. I'm probably not going to include any of this greenery down here. Probably going to leave that out. So it will just be the flower and not the greenery. So what I do is, it's really easy. I take the flower. I have some wire cutters right here. And I just cut them. I leave about an inch or so beneath the flower, and I will just cut it. And then I use my hot glue gun, and I put a little hot glue just right down here on this stem, which is, there's a wire in there. It's plastic coated wire. Put a little bit of hot glue on that. You want to leave enough so you can kind of stick it down in the bundles of mesh so it will really kind of stick. You don't need it to be too long, but you don't want it to be too short either. Just enough to kind of nestle it down in the mesh bundles, and so the glue can come into contact with that mesh and it will hold it there. Every now and then I think I've got one in there and it falls out because I realized the glue wasn't really making contact with anything when it dried, so I had to redo it. But see, these leaves kind of slide down, so you can just slide them down and cut them. And gluing them in is just the hardest part, is just figuring out where you want to put them. Just positioning them on the wreath. So I try to balance it out, try not to end up with a whole bunch in one area unless for some reason that's what I want it to be. These I'm probably going to spread out all over the place. And then I found this rose. This was part of the spring clearance stuff at Joann Fabrics and Crafts. This little little thing here, it's a spring floral pick. They were 70% off. So I got this for about $1.30, $1.29. But I think actually, now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if I'm going to include all of this. Maybe just the little rose, little pinkish rose, maybe just that, and not all this stuff. I'm just thinking that's, I don't know, I'm probably just going to put that in there. And then, now this wreath is going to have a centerpiece. Most of my wreaths don't, which some people think all wreaths should have a centerpiece. I don't agree, because I think some wreaths look fine without one. This one's going to have one. And I found this at Dollar Tree. Cool. I got this cool fan at Dollar Tree. So we're going to actually kind of have this out like this. And I'm going to try to find a way. I'm probably just going to glue it in there. But I'm going to have to be able to make contact with the, maybe this plastic part here with the wreath, and make sure that it's going to stay. But that is going to be, this is going to be kind of nestled down inside of the wreath to just sort of sit at the bottom and then just kind of fill in the middle part. So we've got that. I'm really glad I found that. Originally I wasn't going to do a centerpiece, but when I saw this, I said, oh, that's perfect. We can put that in there just right in the middle. So, oh, and for my bundles, I have this pack of chenille stems, little pipe cleaners, all different colors. This is a pack that has a bunch of different colors in it. There are 24 in here. No, I'm sorry, 45. We have 45 of these. Now, each one of these little pipe cleaners, we're going to cut it in half, and each half will do for one bundle. So you can make a total of 90 bundles. We won't need all of these, but I'm going to try to use a whole bunch of different colors so that when you look at the back of the wreath, you're going to see these pipe cleaners attached to the back of the wreath form, and it's just going to be an array of colors. It's just going to be all these colors: purple, orange, red, green, and yellow. And I might actually, I have this other pack, and this has even more colors in it. I've got blue, black, white, and yellow. Oh, I got yellow in there. I might even use some of these to make it even more colorful. So this is just a bunch that were left over from other projects that I did. But I think that's everything. I'm really excited to get started because I think this is going to be a super cool wreath. I think it's going to look really good. So the first thing we have to do is make our bundles of mesh and ribbon. And I'm going to show you now how to do that. I have everything ready. I went ahead and cut up the ribbon and the mesh. And I cut up some of these pipe cleaners. Look, I have all these pretty colors. Look, so many. So this is just one of each cut in half. And this is the way they're going to look when you use them to make bundles. Okay. So all of the pieces of ribbon and all of the pieces of mesh are going to be approximately 9 inches long. It doesn't matter if they're not, it doesn't have to be exactly 9. You can just kind of eyeball it, and so it doesn't really have to be. Look at this. This ribbon is so neat. So when it was in the roll, all we really saw was the blue and purple. But when you start to unroll it, you see there's also this blue and green and yellow and orange here. It's really pretty. This blue part kind of looks like denim a little bit, but it's not. It's a different type of fabric. This ribbon has wire in it. So I cut it, and you'll notice, you see the ends here, how they're kind of fancy like that? It's dovetailed, and it takes a little time to do each piece this way, but I really do think it makes it look nice. It's very easy to do, like if you just have any kind of ribbon, like this piece. See, I didn't do it with this piece and these over here. It's really easy to do. I use these little spring-loaded scissors from Fiskars. I really like them. They're very sharp though, you have to be careful with them. But they have this nice silicone grip and they're really great. But you can use any kind of scissors, it doesn't matter. So you take the end of your ribbon and you just kind of fold it lengthwise this way. So you're just kind of pinching it in half, and here's your little fold. You take your scissors and you're just going to cut off that corner. That's all you do. You just cut that corner off. And sometimes it ends up with a little bit, but it doesn't matter because when you put it in the wreath, you're not going to really notice that. But if it bothers you, you can kind of trim it down a little bit. So yeah, you just fold it lengthwise and you cut off that corner. See, just like that. Now each of these pieces of ribbon was a slightly different type of material. This ribbon is a little bit more stiff, but you can do it with this too. You just take it and you fold it like that. So here's the fold is right there. And you're just going to cut it at an angle. And you end up with a lot of pieces. It's good to keep a trash can nearby to put your scraps in. I mean, unless you want to save them. But I keep a trash can nearby, and I also keep a container nearby to put all of the rolls in, the little cardboard spools that the ribbon are on, and the mesh too. And then I gather them all up and I put those in the recycle bin. So again, you just take this ribbon, fold it in half, just kind of hold it together like that. You cut it in half, and see, it's just a nice little finish, a nice little finished edge. You don't have to do it, but for all of my wreaths I do this because I think it looks extra nice in the wreath when it's like that. So here's another piece. This ribbon has wire in it, but it's very easy to cut through really with any kind of scissors. So you fold it this way, just kind of hold it together. Try to get it even, but it doesn't have to be exact. And there you go. Look at that. It's really easy. So it takes a little time to do all these pieces, but the end result I think is worth it. It's going to look so good. So again, you fold it lengthwise. You cut that corner off diagonally. Just like that. See? And then you have all these scraps. Okay. You can even do it with the super thin ribbon. It's a little bit more difficult, but you can see I did it. You do it the same way. You just kind of pinch it, sort of fold it in half like that, and cut it same way. It's a little bit harder because it's thinner, but yeah, you can definitely do it. So I even did it with all of that ribbon. Look at this one. This one's very, very shiny. Look at that. That's pretty. I did it with all of these pieces too. Okay, so now we are all ready to make some bundles. And you get lots of little bits and pieces, but that's okay. The first bundles I'm going to make are going to be all of the rainbow mesh, and these pieces are these are approximately 9 inches long. One thing you can do to save time in cutting mesh is just take a piece of cardboard or whatever and measure it to 9 inches, and then you can wrap it in, I've seen people wrap it in duct tape, anything to kind of reinforce it a little bit. And you take your roll of mesh and just wrap it around and around that 9-inch piece of, you could use a little thin piece of board or cardboard or whatever. You wrap it around and around and around, and then you just have to cut it on the ends, and you have a bunch of 9-inch pieces. I don't do that. I just pull some out and cut it, and pull some more and cut it. That's just, I don't know, that's just the way I do it. Now, yeah, I think we're going to use the Sunburst technique for this. I went back and forth on it. For the roll technique, I'm going to show you that, but we're not going to do that here. I think the Sunburst is really going to show the colors better. For the roll, you're going to take your piece of mesh and you cut them the same length, and you're just going to kind of roll it up, and you just follow the grain. You see it already kind of tries to roll up. You take it, and you can put however many pieces in a bundle you want. I'm probably going to do, with this mesh, probably 4 pieces per bundle, because it's a very good quality mesh. It's very stiff. The mesh from Dollar Tree is not quite so stiff. It's a little more flimsy, so it takes more pieces to kind of fill out the wreath. This is really good quality mesh. It's very shiny too. I love how shiny it is. It looks shiny in the package, but I thought that was just the shrink wrap on it, but it's actually very shiny. I like that. Okay, so we're not doing the roll, so I'm going to show you how you do the Starburst method, which is my favorite. That's the one I do most of the time. I think the last rolled wreath I did was at Halloween, so it's been a while. Okay, so you grab, whoops, and you get lots of pieces everywhere. That's why it's good to keep a trash can around, because you end up with lots of little bits and stuff. You grab these corners, they're opposite, see? And you pull it a little bit. You don't want to pull it too hard. You don't want to damage the mesh. And I'll show you what's cool about the Sunburst technique with this particular mesh. Okay, so you've got the pieces, the corners. So you want to keep that tension, and you just kind of walk your fingers in, and you roll it up. You just kind of bundle it up in the middle until it looks like a little bow tie. And see, here's what I like about the Sunburst technique for this wreath, because when you roll it this way, you really get to see all of the colors better. When it's in a bundle, it's going to look kind of like that, but we're going to have 4 of these together. So I think the Sunburst technique is best for this, because it really shows all the colors really well. Now you can't let this go, because if you do, it will fall apart. It just blah. It won't stay like this. You can use a clothespin or a chip clip or whatever, any kind of clip to hold it in place. I just put it between my fingers, but I've been making these wreaths for quite a while. I've made a lot of these, so for me this is easier, but if it's easier for you to use a clothespin or whatever, you can do that and just clip it and set it aside while you do your next piece. Whatever works for you. Okay, we got another piece. Oh, look at the shiny. Oh, I love it. It is so shiny and reflective. Oh, wouldn't this look really pretty in the sun? When the sun hits it, it's gonna look beautiful. Okay, again, you take this corner, pull it a little bit. You hold that tension. See, I'm still holding it. And then walk your fingers in, roll it up, and you put it with the other piece like that. So now we have 2 of these. Grab another one. One thing I really like about this mesh, the better quality mesh, like this kind or the kind you get at Michael's, it's more expensive, but one really good thing about it is if you have a bunch of it cut up and it's all together, like I just pile it up on the floor, the Dollar Tree mesh all sticks together, and this stuff really doesn't. And when it all gets stuck together, it's very annoying because you have to pull it. You have to carefully separate it. Yeah, it's annoying. Okay, and I think the Dollar Tree mesh has gone down in quality a bit. Just the last batch of it I got seemed to be even more flimsy than normal. Maybe I just got a bad batch. I don't know. Now we have 3 And it starts to get a little harder to hold, but we only need one more. And you don't have to do 4. I mean, if you have really thick mesh and you just want to do 3 pieces or whatever, you don't have to do 4. There's really not any rules to this. You can do it whatever way you want to. And if you have a thinner mesh, you might want to do 5 or 6 pieces per bundle. Roll it up, pinch it, put it together. Now, we have all of our pieces of mesh, but we still have ribbon to add to it. I'm going to grab the widest piece first, and then I'm going to take a thinner piece, lay that on top. So this all together is going to constitute one bundle. Grab a pipe cleaner half. Now this is the tricky part, but the more you do it, it does get easier. You're going to grab the ends, fold them under. You're going to grab it, you're not going to hurt it. Grab that whole bundle, fold it in half, and give it at least 3 twists underneath. This is the underside of the bundle. And these little ends are important, and I'll show you why in a little bit. Now you can let it go. There. Oops. This is our first bundle. And it may not look like a lot. It may not look too impressive right now. But when we get all these bundles added to the wreath, you'll really see what it looks like. Okay, let's set this one aside. Let's do another one. So again, you just take your mesh, grab the corners here, roll it together, pinch, and again, after you do this for a little bit, you can get to where you can make these bundles pretty fast. Yeah, but start to finish, if I were making a wreath, not in a video, but just sitting here making it, it would still probably take me, I'd say, at least 2.5 hours to make this wreath, like start to finish, because you have to cut all the ribbon, do the dovetailing on it, you have to do the mesh, make the bundles, then you have to add everything to the wreath form, and then you have to prepare the decorations and attach the decorations. It would probably take at least 2.5 hours to do, but when I do it in a video, it takes me probably closer to 4 hours. But I enjoy it though, so I don't mind. I think it's great. I love to see these wreaths come to life and see what they look like, because you never know how it's going to turn out until you're done. So there's 3. And the 4th one here, this piece seems to be a little bit shorter, but it really ultimately doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to take the widest piece of ribbon, put it on top, and then if I'm going to use a skinny ribbon, I put the skinny one over the wide one. Okay, so you lay your cut piece of pipe cleaner across perpendicularly. So it's the ribbon, everything's this way, so the pipe cleaner is running perpendicular right here. So you're going to take the ends of the pipe cleaner, kind of bend them down, fold everything in half, and you want to give it at least 3 good twists. 1, 2, 3, and then you can let it go. Okay, this particular type of ribbon, it's a little bit difficult in wreaths because it's very stiff And sometimes it folds over and it doesn't want to lay like you want it to. But if you just kind of, you can pull on it a little and adjust it. And you can even take these pieces of mesh and tug them this way and that if you want to make them stick out a little more. A lot of times I don't really do that. I don't fluff it out until after I've attached it to the wreath form. I just leave them kind of however they are after I twist the pipe cleaner half. I just go ahead and attach it to the wreath form and then fluff them all out kind of at the same time. But you can do it either way. Okay, we'll do one more. Just one more time to show you the process. Start with your, did I do 4 pieces? I did. For some reason I was thinking I only did 3 in that one. Start with your first piece. I love how, see, it starts out like this. You twist it and all the colors do like that. I think that's neat. Look at it. It's like a, you know, one of those wind spinners. This is gonna look so good. I want to see this wreath outside. I want to see it in the sunshine. This is gonna look so pretty. I love this shiny mesh like this. Dollar Tree, you know, they're probably going to start putting out their fall mesh pretty soon. Every year they have this one mesh. I think it's brown. It's like a striped mesh, brown and orange and tan or something like that. And it's kind of shiny like this and looks really good in a wreath. But when they put that stuff out, you have to get it basically right when they put it out, or you won't get it because they sell out so fast. Okay, here's our 4th piece. There. And it doesn't matter if you don't gather it up exactly a certain way, as long as it's kind of all collected in the middle like that. You just want it to kind of be all bunched up here. So it's like a little bow tie. So you put it on top there. And I'm holding it all together. I'm not letting it go. Take your piece of ribbon. Put it on top. I'm going to add a skinny ribbon over that. This ribbon here, I think I mentioned it felt a bit heavier than the others. It's thick. This is a nice ribbon. That's a really good quality ribbon. Okay. So again, perpendicular. You want this little pipe cleaner half to be perpendicular. Fold the ends under this part like that. Oops, I lost it. That's okay. And give it at least three twists. 1, 2, 3. And then you can let it go. There. Okay, that's our 3rd bundle. I want to do one more. I want to use one of these. These bundles are pretty easy. You pull it out and then you kind of just roll it together like that. See how it just stays curled up from being on the roll. Grab the opposite corners, pull. I'm just kind of rolling it up on itself in the middle, like that. Okay. And then I'm going to take this, put it on top. That. Let's do 3 pieces of ribbon on this one. Sometimes I do this one, and this one. The super skinny one. There. Okay, take your pipe cleaner, put it across perpendicular here. Fold the ends under, fold it in half. And you can just kind of squeeze it if you need to get that pipe cleaner on there nice and tight. And open it back up. And there it is. Okay, now we have 4 bundles ready. We can go ahead and put this on the wreath form. I will show you how you attach these to the wreath form. So we have pretty much everything off the table. Now here's our wreath form. This again is a 14-inch wreath form from Dollar Tree. And I had a hard time finding the rainbow mesh. And I thought I had some of these up in the attic. Because when I buy them, I try to buy quite a few. So I didn't even worry about finding one of these. And then I finally found the mesh at Joann's. And then realized when I got home I didn't have any of these. I had to go to 3 different Dollar Trees to find this thing. Because 2 of them were out. They didn't have any. It was crazy. But I got it. Now, with this wreath form, you will notice there are 4 wires that go around. And you have these pieces that hold it all together. So you basically end up with 6 sections like this. Now we're only going to be working with these 2 inner wires. We're not going to attach anything here or here. Now this is the convex side here. This is going to be the front of the wreath. But when we're attaching the bundles, I'm flipping it over. This is the back side. It looks the same, but it's concave, so it's kind of like that. So this is the part we're going to be looking at when we attach bundles to it. So I've got one here. Here's one of our bundles. I think this was the first one. Now in each of these sections, I'm going to have, I would say, at least 8 bundles in each of these 6 sections. You are going to end up with about 50 bundles or more. It really depends on how thick your mesh is. If you have that really thin mesh, you're going to need more bundles. It's just going to take more. Okay, so we're going to take our piece of mesh and we're going to lay it upside down. And you see we have these 2 ends of the pipe cleaner half. You're going to take those ends and they're going to straddle these 2 wires right here. And you twist the ends together. You just twist them, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, whatever. And I take that little pointy part, the ends there, and I just kind of tuck them under a little bit so they're not sticking out. And then another one. We're going to do the same thing. You take your pipe cleaner ends and they're going to straddle these 2 wires and you twist the ends together. You want to twist them enough so that that piece does not detach from the wreath frame. And right now, as you're attaching them, they're going to be kind of loose, but don't worry about that. It doesn't have to be super tight. After you add all the bundles to it, just the pressure of all the other bundles together is going to keep them from being loose like that. So we'll take another one. And you take your ends of the pipe cleaner half, straddle these 2 inner wires, and you twist them together and tuck those ends of the wires under, the ends of the pipe cleaner wires under. And one more. Twist them together and then tuck the ends of the pipe cleaner under. Okay. So this is what it looks like right now. There. So it may not look too impressive right now because it's just this little section. This is just 4 bundles. I'm going to do more. So I'm going to go ahead and continue making my bundles. I'm going to use the other colors of mesh as well. So it's not just going to be all rainbow mesh. We're going to have the different colors too. So I'm going to keep doing that. And when we come back, I'm going to show you what it looks like with all of the bundles attached to the wreath form before we decorate it. So let's see how it turns out. Well, I got it all done. We haven't decorated it yet, but I wanted to show you how it looks before we add all the decorations to it. I like it. Look at that. We have so many pretty colors in here. Oh my gosh. Look at that. I didn't get all of the ribbon in here. I couldn't do it. There's just so much of it. Got most of it in here though. Look at that. So we have all of our different types of ribbon. We have all of our different colors of mesh. Look at that. I like it. I think it's pretty. I'm really happy with it. It's beautiful. So what we're going to do now that we have it all put together, and see on the back, you have all the different colors of the little chenille stems the pipe cleaner has. We have all that in there. There were a lot of bundles for this wreath. And I did notice something while I was doing this. I was using some Dollar Tree mesh that I bought about a year ago. The quality has definitely declined. I compared it to some that I had bought recently. It's not as good. In the future, I may have to switch to using mesh from other places if the mesh at Dollar Tree is going to continue to be as flimsy as it is. That's just a side note that has nothing to do with this. In the future, I don't know if I'm going to be able to use that mesh as much anymore. It's definitely not the quality it used to be. But we've got everything in here. I love it. I love it. I think it turned out really pretty. Yeah, it's definitely bigger than that 14-inch wreath form. It's kind of deceptive when you look at the wreath form. It looks like it's not going to be all that big, but yeah, it's pretty big. So now I'm going to go add all of the decorations to it. The flowers, the hearts, the fan, everything. I'm going to get it all added in here, and then we'll come back and look at the finished product. Well, I got it all done. I got it decorated. I'm pretty happy with it. Look at that. Ooh. I had a little trouble with the placement of the fan. What I ended up doing was I put some hot glue on the back of each of the little plastic spines on the back, and then just kind of positioned it and just kind of held my hand on it for a little bit to kind of hold it until the glue dried a little bit. Yeah, but there it is. We have all of our flowers in here. I put the love applique right here with the glitter on it and a little heart. There are hearts all throughout this thing. You kind of have to play hide and seek to find them all. They're just nestled everywhere. There's one up there, and we have all of our flowers in here, and they're just kind of all around. They're just kind of everywhere. So there it is. We got it all done, and I'm so glad I at least got it done by the end of the month. I was hoping to do it earlier, but at least I got it done. So there it is. See? It really, the light in here is not great. It really doesn't do it justice. It's really awesome. I'm really tickled with how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed watching this come into being, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon.